Hello everyone and welcome back to Ferrigno Freedom Channel. I'm Dante Ferrigno and I've been on a carnivore diet now known as the Lion Diet for the past 4.5 years, and it has changed things for me like I have never seen in my health changes in my life. So for those of you who already know that, welcome back. For those of you who are new here, I just wanted to give you another day in the life of a carnivore. Carnivore diet is sustainable. I don't care what people are telling you. I overheard somebody talking, and he was talking about the importance of getting rid of processed food, but how he couldn't sustain a carnivore diet. All I can tell you is it has done wonders for me. And on this 4th of July, today in the United States, it's Independence Day. I hope you're celebrating with good health. And if you're not, you could be. You just got to change the way you eat. Today I'm going to be having a little bit of ground beef. With prices the way they are, it's been a little bit harder to get steak lately. But a good friend of mine that many of you may already know, John Barry, he bought me 20 pounds of this fortified beef from the Florida Fresh Meat Company. They've actually changed their name. So for those of you in the Ocala area, I do want to let you know, let me see what their name is now. They're now called Florida Fresh Meat and Seafood. So if you're looking for good beef in the Ocala area, this is a great way to do it. And the fortified blend, which basically just means it takes some of the organ meat and mixes them with the burger, is a great way to get some of those extra vitamins and minerals. You do not have to have organ meat on a carnivore diet. I just like it myself. I don't like to overdo it because it's something that can be overdone. But all I can say is I'm thankful for this, and I'm thankful for you guys being here. And I just wanted to show you how this burger comes out and say hello again to all my friends here on YouTube who have been following my channel for so many years. You know, when I started off on this journey 4.5 years ago, I had no idea that I would still be talking about this with you 4.5 years later. As a matter of fact, it was only supposed to be a 6-week trial to see if I could do something to save my health. And it has just changed things like I've never seen things change in my life when it comes to my health. And now my wife has joined me on a carnivore diet. She's been doing it now for 4 months. And all she talks about is how she's able to get through her day so much easier, and she has more strength and energy to do the things that she needs to do. And in this day and age with so many difficult things going on, that's a very useful thing. Being healthy in times of difficulty, that's a wonderful thing. Being healthy in times of prosperity is a wonderful thing. Just being healthy is a wonderful thing. So I'm just putting a little Redmond smoked salt here on my meat. This is the cherry Redmond smoked salt. It's one of my favorites. It has really been a great way to transform the way that I eat when I'm not using a grill or something where I can get a little smoky flavor to it. A lot of people have nice smokers and things like that. I haven't picked one of those up yet. The air fryer is still a huge part of my daily use, and it has made the carnivore diet very possible for me to do. And you know what? I'm gonna make 2 separate patties out of this. The one thing about fortified beef is sometimes it's a little bit harder to stay together. I know some people like to mix an egg with it to get it a little bit more consistency, but I'm not gonna do that because I've been trying to avoid eggs myself. My wife still eats a lot of eggs, as you can see here, and they've been good for her. She has about 6 eggs every morning and goes off to work and is able to work through her day just going on those eggs. And to me, that's amazing because she used to need a whole lot more than that. And she's talked about it with me as about how she just doesn't have that need for something to eat quite as often as she used to. And that was one of the things I noticed when I started a carnivore diet, is that eventually I got to where I wasn't hungry like I used to be. So people ask me, well, when do I eat? What do I eat? It's so simple. It's like, this is one of the reasons why I often have a hard time having a lot to talk about, is I really think it's easy to maintain. You just eat meat and be happy. Eat meat when you're hungry, and when you're not hungry, don't eat. I drink water, I drink club soda, I add salt to my water because I find that it helps me have the electrolytes that I need to have the energy. This is one of the things the guy mentioned yesterday, is that he felt like he didn't have energy on a carnivore diet. I said, you probably weren't getting enough salt. Well, you know, everybody's got their answers and their reasons, and he'd already made his decision. But I'm telling you that those things are key when you're on lion diet, is having beef, water, salt, or not necessarily beef, it could be lamb also, or any other ruminant animal. But it has just been fantastic. Each of these packages is 1 pound of beef. So basically I've got 4 roughly 1/2 pound patties. We're gonna cook 2 of these in the air fryer and cook 2 of them on the stove and see how they come out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my stove started. I'm gonna set it on number 4. So I'm gonna set my air fryer up to cook. It's a Dreo Chef Maker. Still the one that's my choice, because it does a good job of making the meat always come out tender and delicious. Uses a temperature probe to monitor the meat while it's cooking. Make sure that it's cooking to the right temperature. And even though there's 2 pieces of meat, I just put it in the larger one so it cooks them about evenly. We'll go into chef mode, set it to beef burger patty, and set it on medium. Got water in the top, and then we'll throw these on the stove. So one of the things I use on the stove, because I'm cooking more hamburger patties, is beef tallow. It's a great way to have something to grease the pan, and it adds some wonderful fat that I have found to be very useful on a carnivore diet. So I'll stir in the beef tallow here, get it nice and covered all around. And then drop my patties in now that it's melted down. And for those of you who are also struggling to have enough money to cover the bills these days, as I know it's difficult for a lot of us, Publix has run on sale their ground chuck, which is absolutely magnificent. Katie loves it, I love it, and this is coming from a guy that used to eat steak every single day, but man, ground chuck is a fantastic way to get, you know, it's an 80-20 meat to fat ratio. What is this, $20 for 4.18 pounds? And that's enough to feed my wife and I all day long. That's pretty good. 20 bucks for 2 people. You know, people say carnivore is expensive. I've seen what people pay for the meals that they get at McDonald's and stuff like that. A single quarter pounder or double quarter pounder with cheese is like $7 and some change. You could have a really good burger and have a pound of meat and not have all that extra garbage and still spend less than you would at McDonald's when you buy a meal with a drink and all that stuff. So when I hear people talk about the cost being prohibitive of a carnivore diet, I just can't help but laugh, because the cost of so many other foods is just ridiculous these days. You can see I'm not the world's best at making hamburger patties. I'm not an expert at it, but hey, you don't have to be an expert. It's not as hard as you think. Like I said, I was listening to those 2 people talking about carnivore diet, or at least something like the carnivore diet. And the young man who was listening was talking about how he didn't even know what to do. Then I didn't know what to do when I started eating this way. I wasn't used to cooking things. My wife wasn't used to making meat on a regular basis. She was more of a pasta and rice type of person. She made all kind of foods, but they were the kind of foods that were killing me, killing her too, killing us. But with a little bit of stick-to-itiveness, maybe checking out some videos on YouTube, watching other people do it, you too can learn how to cook good meat. And I've been doing it for 4.5 years. I still don't consider myself an expert at cooking meat or cooking anything. I just know how to make meat hot and eat it and make sure that it takes care of me, and it has. I will say cooking it on lower temperature certainly helps when you're cooking on the stove if you're trying to reduce the amount of splatter. That was something I didn't know in the beginning. The air fryer makes it easy because you can clean it so much easier, and it also kind of does all the work for you. Some people like to flip the burger or flip the steak that's in the air fryer. I found that that's not really necessary unless you just absolutely want to have it more crusty on both sides, but they come out delicious without having to flip it. So it works out either way. Just don't make it too difficult on yourself. It's not as hard as people think it is to make the food that you need to make to stay healthy on a carnivore diet. Now, a lot of those channels you're gonna watch that talk about cooking burger are gonna tell you to cook it to 160 degrees to be safe. I have not been cooking my steaks that high, so I really don't see a need to cook my burgers that high either. The other thing is if you're not gonna eat it right away, you definitely don't wanna cook it that much, because when you go to reheat it, it comes out real dried, and then that makes it kind of hard to enjoy. So I keep an eye on it with a temperature probe just to see where it's at. We're at about 100 degrees on the inside of that one. Same on this one. For those who are interested, the type of tallow I'm using today is just something I picked up on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. Anything you purchase from the links that I share on Amazon do help support the channel and what I'm doing here. And what I'm doing here is trying to help you realize that carnivore diet is possible, it is sustainable, and it can change your life. So I thank you for your support when you buy those products. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these again. I like to flip them a couple of times during their cooking process. And while that cooks, I just want to say to those of you who've been following my channel for a long time, I know I've been away for about a week and a half. Been going through a lot. My mother's been sick. She's in the hospital right now with AFib. She's 85 years old, and I just ask that you would keep her in your prayers, because it's been weighing heavy on my heart to know that she's been having such a hard time. It's been kind of hard to have the words to come and share with you about carnivore diet while I've been so concerned about my mother. But hey, the air fryer's done. Let's take a look. Patties are ready. Go ahead and pull them out. You can see my patties come out a little bit thick because I didn't press them down quite as much as I should have. But again, it just goes to show you don't have to be an expert at this to get good meat in your body. You just got to get it hot and eat it. And for all the raw carnivores out there, I guess you don't even have to get it hot. I'm just not ready to make that jump. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my temperature probe, pull the tray out to clean it up as soon as it cools down a little bit. And I don't like to waste anything, so I use this parchment paper at the bottom of the air fryer to catch all those juices and pour them right on top of the burger. That's been another thing that's been amazing about carnivore. We don't waste food on carnivore. When we used to eat all kind of vegetables and things like that and pastas, they wind up sitting in the refrigerator until they go bad and get moldy, and we wind up throwing away half of everything we bought. So that's another reason that carnivore can be a lot less expensive, is you eat it all. All right, this one's done. It's at 132 degrees. Pull that one out. All right, this one's at 125 degrees. That'll be one of the ones that I save for later. I also pour my tallow into my bowl for saving for later, because I love the way that chilled tallow tastes once it comes out of the refrigerator. I'll reheat the meat without the tallow on top, without the extra tallow, and just eat the tallow with the meat. Fantastic. And we'll take one of these other ones that we cooked on the stove and put it in there for storage for later today. All right, let's see how we came out. We got one that was cooked on the air fryer here. See, it's got a little pink still inside. I don't mind that at all. One that was cooked on the stove, a little bit less pink. Absolutely fantastic. People keep telling me I'm gonna get tired of eating meat all the time. It hasn't happened yet. Now for the one that was cooked on the stove. Wonderful. So there you go. Maintaining a carnivore diet is not as expensive as you think. It's not as difficult as you think. It's not unsustainable, as so many people like to say. I'm living proof of that. You can be living proof of that too, and enjoy good health, despite the difficulties in the world, despite all the other things going on out there. At least you can be healthy. I thank God for this carnivore lifestyle that I've been led to. It has just been wonderful, and I hope it's wonderful for you too. Well, that's all I got for this one, guys. I'll see you next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
Hey folks, real quick, I wanted to come talk to you about one of the keys to my carnivore diet that has made it such a success for me, and that's good clean salt. And today I'm talking about Redmond Real Salt. and it is just the best tasting salt I've ever had. I have their smoked salts. This is one of my favorites, the cherry smoked salt. I even use their earth powder, which is great for keeping your teeth clean. If you're interested in getting some Redmond salt, go to my link in the description or just go to redmond.life and use my discount code Dante and you'll save 15% on your order. Hey, it's Dante Ferrigno. I just wanted to thank you first of all for watching this video, but I also wanted to tell you about my merch shop. I have a link in the description for a bunch of different items I've put together for you to be able to show your support for the carnivore lifestyle, and every purchase helps me to keep doing what I'm doing here on Ferrigno Freedom.